I punched my uncle in the face. Story time. So I have this best friend, and we literally grew up with one another. So he's more like my brother. And he would come to our family events all the time. Well, one year we had a family barbecue at my house, and my best friend decided to come over. Now, mind you guys, my friend used to be a chubby kid, so he would get picked on for it all the time, and it would just really get under my skin. And I wouldn't hesitate to defend him, just like I know he wouldn't hesitate to defend me. So me and my friend are sitting on my front porch, and we're eating some food and just laughing and talking, just being kids. But then my uncle comes over to us, and he just starts doing the most. And he starts making fun of me for being girly, but I was used to it, so I didn't really react to it. However, my best friend started defending me and started talking back to my uncle. So my uncle starts making fun of him for being chubby, and I was not having it. So I was like, if you say one more thing, I'm gonna punch you in your face. And my uncle bent down and was like, do it. So I did. I punched him in the face, and his nose started bleeding.
I lied to a blind neighbor and told him I moved away. Many years ago, I was standing on one of my balconies when a taxi driver was obnoxiously blowing his horn out the front and yelling for a blind man to walk toward my voice from his own townhouse. That direction was toward traffic. My roommate and I went down and helped him to the taxi and scolded the driver for being so rude. I made the mistake of giving the blind neighbor my phone number so that I could give him a ride in the future. Then the phone calls came and never stopped. And when I gave him a ride, he would ask for various detours. I'm very calculated by nature. If he had told me beforehand where he wanted to go, it would be cool. But no, we'd be driving along and he'd thrown an extra 2 to 3 places on each ride. And it came to be every day that he wanted rides, and he'd even call me to remind me to give him a ride. Not that I was ever late or backed out. Finally, I had enough, so I gauged how blind he was. His response was that he was blind as a bat. A week or two after he said that, I told him I had a job interview in the next city. A week after that, I told him I got the job and was moving away in a month. After I moved away, it was strange as hell walking by him in silence as he stood on the sidewalk.
I made my teacher cry. Story time. When I was in 2nd grade, I had this teacher and she was the devil, and we're gonna name her Miss Jackson. And the reason I call her a devil is because she would say really mean things to me to my face. She would be like, Ty, stop talking like that, you sound like a little girl. Or, your favorite color can't be pink, you have to choose one of the boy colors. And since I was so young, I didn't understand how serious these things were, and I didn't know I can get her in trouble. And I would go home sad like every single day. Eventually my mom noticed and she asked me what was wrong. So I told her some of the things that Miss Jackson would say to me, and my mom was mad. And my mom was like, the next time she says something to you, say something rude back, and if you get in trouble, I'll handle her from there. So I was like, okay, I'll do it. Now, Miss Jackson was a heavy lady, so I knew if I said something rude to her, it would be about her weight. Though we don't body shame around here. We don't do that, okay? So I'm in school eating lunch with my friends who happen to be girls, and Miss Jackson comes up to me and she's like, shouldn't you be eating with the boys? So I looked at her and I was like, shouldn't you be eating a salad? And the lunchroom started laughing, and then she started crying.
So I used to know this girl who would constantly say things like, guys, sorry, I'm so ugly. I just ruined the whole group photo, I'm sorry. And then everyone would automatically comfort her and be like, no, you're beautiful, you shine. And then she would be like, no, but thank you. And she would do the same thing over and over again, trying to get everyone's attention. So eventually I got tired. So the next time she came to me saying, I'm so ugly, I was like, you know what? You are. She was like, what'd you say? And I was like, bitch, if you think you're ugly, I can crop you out of the photo. The fuck do you want me to tell you? I'm not the one who made you look like a woolly mammoth.
You know, I just realized I was really, really stupid when I was little. So it was my grandfather's funeral and I was like 4 or 5 and I was sitting down waiting to go outside and I see everyone crying. So I'm like, why is everyone crying? And then my brother runs up to me with his eyes red as the eclipse and he hugs me and I'm like, oh, he just knows I'm the favorite child, which I still am. And then I look up and I see this ginormous picture of my grandpa, and I'm like, are we worshiping him or something? And then my mom takes me to see the casket, and I'm like, why is everyone so worked up about it? He's just taking a nice, peaceful nap in his nice, fancy bed with his nice, fancy suit on, like... And then we go outside to bury him, and I just see everyone pouring their eyes out, like cats and dogs pouring. And then I look up to my mom and say, do you need me to call 911 or the hospital? Like, I can do it right now without no hesitation. And then everyone leaves, and then I just see my brother just crying, talking to the gravestone, and I'm like, why are you talking to thin air? And then he looks up to me and says, you're really dumb, aren't you? And then I say, what does supposed to mean? And then like 5 minutes later, I go up to my mom with the happiest face on earth and say, can we please get ice cream now? I was so bored. And she looks at me and says, he's dead!
Every week is fashion week for